What is going on, everybody out there in YouTube land, out there in podcast land, wherever land that you may be listening to this live stream, or probably listening to it as we just recently uploaded. This is not really a welcome to a new episode of Ready, Set, Action Commentaries. This is more of just a quick little podcast that me and Inika wanted to put together, but as you can see, Inika is here. Well, you can't really see it, but hello, Inika.
Hey, Mike. Hey, guys. How's it going? First month of Halloween.
Oh yeah, definitely first month of Halloween. And for everybody out there, yes, as you can see, we did have, as you can tell by the message right there on the title of the video. Yes, we are actually announcing that we are taking a hiatus from the show. We're going to be taking a small little bit of a break. Nothing's really going on with us except we've just been feeling kind of burnt out from this show. We've been doing so many shows that and also life. I mean,
yes, it's that time of the year, basically everyone's, working, trying to get things ready for Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, all that stuff.
Yeah. And the thing about it is that, both me and Inika, we have been talking and, we're still going to be finishing the Ninja Turtle podcast. And by the way, if you guys have noticed, yes, the Ninja Turtle podcast is not up on YouTube because for some stupid reason, I don't get why, but Warner Brothers decided to block the video.
Oh my gosh, really? And I did not know. Oh my gosh.
Do you want to know what kills me is that Warner Brothers doesn't even own Ninja Turtles. They don't even own the music in the soundtrack. So why would Warner Brothers do that?
They try to own anything they can get.
Yeah, miserable bastards. But anyway, yes, so both me and Inika, we have decided that we're going to be taking a hiatus from the show for probably a month and a half to 2 months. We haven't decided if we're going to be taking the full. We're definitely going to be taking a full month off this year or this month. We're going to be taking the entire month of October off. Don't worry though, the Band of Brothers podcast series will get finished. I don't think we're going to get it finished. We're not gonna start it now because again we are indefinitely taking a break from podcasting because both Inika and I, our jobs are starting to get a little bit more busier since it is the holidays, coming into the holidays. But I mean, other than that, we're still gonna be back. I mean, we're still gonna be doing podcasts. Also, we're kind of feeling burnt out also to the fact that YouTube, we have not really been getting the hits on YouTube. Like, is it just me, Inika, or did we start losing viewers because of the Mummy?
I think, you know what? I think it started with the Mummy situation, because, yeah, because before we had some great, feedback, I think, from Back to the Future, from our earlier stuff, definitely George in the Jungle, the Flintstones. I got a question for you guys. What is it that would you like us to see? What kind of movies would you like us to do? Something?
Yeah, I mean, we want to get your opinion on what you guys want to watch or what you guys want us to see us watch. We've had a couple people make some suggestions. I already wrote them down. We had someone say they want us to do Blade Runner. They want us to do Happy Gilmore. That's just 2 suggestions, but. Other than that, we haven't really gotten any suggestions from you guys, and we do want suggestions. We want suggestions. Excuse me. We want suggestions from you guys. And here's the thing: we have had emails asking for suggestions, but they've been movies that have controversy behind them. So we don't really want. We don't want. Movies that have controversy behind them because we've been asked to do The Passion of the Christ, and we've also been we even asked to do American History X. Inika, do you actually know that movie American History X?
I've never heard. Actually, this is my first time hearing about this.
So the background of American History X is what it is. It's Ed Norton, by the way. Ed Norton, who is an absolute incredible actor. Ed Norton is absolutely brilliant in everything he does. what American History X is, and the reason why there is so much controversy behind it. So again, American History X is a 1998 film that stars Edward Norton, who it features two brothers who were involved with neo-Nazis, with white powered skinheads. And so Ed Norton, playing the older brother, is serving a 3-year prison sentence for voluntary manslaughter. But what the movie shows is not just the racism that is in America. By the way, there is neo-Nazism in America. I'm not going to deny that. But it also shows the rehabilitation of Edward Norton's character, of how he was seeing the ways of the evils of what his way of thinking was. So I thought it was kind of funny, or not funny, but it was such a great movie because of just like it shows that somebody can definitely be rehabilitated who have developed those types of ways of thinking, and it shows that people can change their ways even though that they had a bad upcoming. So I mean,
absolutely.
Again, I think American History X is a great film. I think it's an amazing movie. It did, however, do really bad at the box office. Had a really bad, it got a really bad time at the box office. But it was, I mean, it was, I still think it was a great film because it showed, it does bring up an interesting thing in America, of how there's racism in America, but there's also hope for people who have been thinking in that way, that you can show a person making the changes in their life.
No, for sure. Like,
yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No worries. No, I definitely agree with what you say. I feel like for people that, don't know other cultures, I feel like when they start to learn other cultures, they kind of like understand, oh, okay, I understand. Like, so I've been taught the wrong way growing up as a kid, in my generation. So it'll definitely, so I think movies like this, yes, it is controversial, although I've not seen it, but it'll definitely give people to think. And I've actually heard of many stories of people that were in situations where they grew up, with this kind of mindset, but then they learned to change and know that, okay, this is not okay. And they turned the complete opposite. So, and they love all kinds of cultures. So.
Exactly. But getting back to the situation that we were talking about. Yes. So me and Inika will be taking a hiatus from the podcast. I know this is kind of a shock to everybody, specifically because we made it a goal to make episode number 100 by the end of the month, or not by the end of the month, but by the end of the year. And we're sitting on 84. So that means we're 16 episodes away, which means we would have hit 100 by the end of the year, but it's not going to happen. Okay. We apologize for that. Maybe it'll happen. I don't know. Maybe because we do have 8 episodes left of Band of Brothers, and those are separate episodes in themselves. And then I don't know, maybe we could hit 100 episodes by the end of the year. I don't know, but I'm willing to bet we're going to be hitting episode number 100 by season 3, which will begin in the next year. But we do promise this: after the Ninja Turtles, we're going to stop doing trilogies for a while, because I think that's been a big problem with us, is that how many trilogies has it been that we've been doing in a row?
We've actually done quite a bit. We did The Mummy, Back to the Future.
I'm looking at the videos real quickly, and let's see. So it all started with Back to the Future and The Mummy, and now we're doing the Ninja Turtles. So we've done 3 trilogies in a row. So maybe that's the problem, is that we've done 3 straight trilogies in a row. I thought, I'm not gonna lie, I thought when we were gonna do Ninja Turtles, I thought it was gonna generate a lot of views because people love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, it's just they love it. But It kind of pisses me off though that Warner Brothers blocked that video. Like that absolutely ticks me off because
oh my gosh, and the volume was so low too, which is crazy.
yeah. So and also real quickly, I hate to bring this up, Inika, but can I please? I need to bring this up with us, but
that's fine.
We cannot forget the terrible. So this is when this is funny. So this is when the views really started going down. So Back to the Future was the first video that we had done, first live stream that we had done that did not get over 100 views. It got 47 views, and then we kept doing pretty well in the views. Actually, funnily enough, the Curse of the Dragon Emperor has actually gotten some. it actually got pretty good views. It's got 73 right now, but yes. I mean, I don't know. Like I thought it was just so funny because March for Death. You remember that movie March for Death that we did?
Yes.
It generated over 1,000 views, which was pretty good. But people were tuning into us when we were doing, of course, Harry Potter. They were doing really well with Harry Potter. But I just find it hilarious that the two live streams that we have done that have gotten over 1,000 views is Titanic and Marked for Death. I didn't think Marked for Death would get that many views. I really didn't. But it's pretty funny because we've been doing this show now since April. Has it been April?
Yes.
Yeah, we've been doing the show since April 15th because that's when the first official rebranded Ready Set Action Commentaries got released, and of course we did Titanic. So it's been kind of an interesting year for us. It's been kind of an interesting 6 months since we have been doing the podcast again, because if you guys remember, the podcast took about another before it was rebranded, we took about 2 months off due to another hiatus. And it wasn't necessarily because we were burnt out. It was because there was a lot of drama going on with a lot of us here at Ready Set Action Commentaries. There was just a lot of drama going on, and we were just like, yeah, this is not a good time to do any podcast whatsoever. And so we just decided, yeah, we're just going to take as much time as we can. We're going to get back to it whenever we can. And unfortunately, because of the drama, K Hart decided, hey, I got to do my own thing. I got to do my own thing on YouTube. And you know what? I don't discredit K Hart for that. I have no animosity towards K Hart because guess what? It was his decision to go to his own channel. And here's the thing: when someone's doing two things on YouTube, it will burn you out. It will burn you out so badly. I mean, Inika does two channels. She does her own channel and she does this channel. And I got to give Inika so much credit because I got to give you so much credit because usually if someone does two channels, it will drain them emotionally, mentally, and it will drain them just energy wise. And you're one of the lucky ones who have not got burnt out.
Thank you. Like, actually, know what the thing is? Like, I try to make, I balance everything out. I usually always focus on once a week. I usually plan and figure out what I want to do. So I just try map out everything accordingly. Like, Mike, I have an idea. Something just popped in my mind. As well, when we do get back to watching movie reactions, why don't we also actually try to do trailer reactions too? Trailer reactions.
Yeah, you know
Podcast.
What? And that'll be very interesting to do because trailer reactions are huge on YouTube. We are still trying to figure out, by the way, how to put the video inside our live streams. We're still trying to figure that out. I'm talking with I'm trying to talk to a couple people who are really good at editing. So we'll try to figure that out. And what we'll do is instead of we'll put out two videos. Like when we do a podcast, we'll do an actual video podcast of our reactions, but we'll also do an audio podcast, which will feature just our audio reaction. And I think what we'll do is instead of just, having an audio commentary on the channel, we'll also have video reactions, but we'll cut it up. That way it's about, 20 to 30 minutes long, to where you see the actual reactions that we do. Because I've been noticing a lot of people who do reactions, that they are necessarily just reacting to, they show their natural reactions, and that is actually what people go to watch it. Because people, of course, say to you, as you've seen the comments, people get pissed off because they're like, oh, you're not showing the movie, what kind of video is this? And they're not very into just the audio itself. So
I think the idea I have in mind is like, well, I think what we can try to do, we can try to do an audio reaction where they can actually see the video itself. Because here's the thing: once the trailer is already out on YouTube, you can definitely have it displayed there, right? Because it's already been there for everyone to use. So I think
I don't necessarily know the rules. What I do know is that because Inika's done really well with putting out our promos, and all they've done is they've just gotten copyrights. It hasn't necessarily gotten blocked. So I mean, I think that I do think that maybe we can do the trailer like right there in the video. So we'll see about that. But other than that, getting back to what we were discussing. Yeah. So, I mean, we here at Ready Set Action Commentaries, we do love when we get views. We do love when we get views, and we looked at the analytics the other day. So right now we're sitting at 330 subscribers. Our views are down like a lot because they were up at a time. There was a time about a few weeks ago where our views were up to almost 6,000 views within the week, and now our views are 2,000 less than usual. It's down to 600. Our watch time hours are usually 35 hours of watch time hours. Now it's down to 15 hours. But again, we get it. Maybe it's just we're just probably all burnt out from everything. And again, yeah, I can understand this. We've been doing a lot of trilogies. We've been doing 3 trilogies in a row, and we almost did the Star Wars trilogy. So I was kind of worried if that would get a bad views, because Star Wars, I mean, like seriously, like Star Wars should get views. But other than that, yeah, me and Inika, we just wanted to make this little podcast because we wanted to let everybody out there know that we are taking a break. We're going to be doing our own thing. We're going to be doing work. We're going to be, of course, spending time with family because, hey, family comes first before this podcast. Okay.
Yes.
This is not, we don't get paid to do this, by the way. For everybody out there wondering, we do not get paid to do this podcast. The reason why we do this podcast is because we love movies and we love reacting to them. That is why we do this podcast. We do not do this for monetary gain.
And most of all, keeping you guys keeping you guys entertained, with our personalities when you hear our voices.
Exactly. Now, we do promise this. If we decide to take both the entire month of October and the entire month of November off, we will only take half of December off, because we promise you guys this, that we will do Home Alone and Home Alone 2 during December. We promise you that. We will promise you guys that we will do the Home Alone movies, because we really wanted to get into Halloween. We really wanted to get into some Halloween movies this month, but again, both me and Inika are really feeling slightly burnt out. We don't want to get burnt out and quit this podcast. That's not what me and Inika want. We do not want to quit this podcast. We don't want to stop doing this podcast. And I certainly don't want to stop doing this podcast because, and I don't even think I told Inika this, but when I was doing my sports podcast, I loved doing it. I love doing my sports podcast. But when I started doing this podcast, it was in the last year that I was doing my sports podcast. And after a few months of doing this podcast, I was saying, wow, I have so much fun doing this podcast. And when I did my sports podcast, I was like, I'm not having as much fun. I was not having a lot of fun doing the sports podcast as much as I did with this one. Basically, the reason why I was having so much fun with this one is because of the personalities that were doing the show with me. K Hart was doing it with me. We had Richie doing Disney movies with that. First of all, one of the if you ever get a chance, people, you have to go. So again, remember, we used to be BS commentaries, and yes, I admitted to Inika that was such a bullshit name. Ironically, but and it was kind of funny because I reached out to Inika, the one that reached out to Inika. Nobody turned me on to her videos. It was I saw her videos and I reached out to her on Instagram, and she responded, which was really awesome. And what the hell was the first movie that we did? Oh my god, hold on, let me go back because I swear I know the Jungle Book.
Yes, the Jungle Book. I was about to say
we did the Jungle Book, and ironically, that is when also K Hart and I did our first. It was a week after we did, the week before that. K Hart and I did our first and only Disney movie together, which was an extremely goofy movie. And then K Hart and I did 4 straight weeks of almost 3-hour podcasts because we were commenting on the Yu-Gi-Oh! Japanese dubbed or the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series in the Japanese dubbed season 0. And that took a lot out of both me and K Hart. And we're just like, yeah, we're never fucking doing that again. And I was just like, yes, we're not gonna do that again. But what was it? The second movie that me and Inika did was Lion King, and I've forgotten that we need to do the second Lion King movie. We need to do the second Lion King movie because I thought it was so funny because if you remember, that was the first time that Rated R Inika actually came out on the podcast.
Yes. I was starting to kind of get, a few words in. I was like, you know what? I had some crazy reactions, when I was a kid, but I started seeing these movies. I didn't really react that way. But now, seeing it now, I'm like, oh, what is going on? I say Mufasa. He's just, Mufasa was just living his best life, as like the spiritual man, spiritual monkey. Like he played a important role.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so again, getting back onto us, so we're just going back in time here, looking through our podcast. Oh, so here's what I wanted to say. If anybody gets a chance to, please go back and listen to a Goofy movie that we because I don't think Anika's ever heard that one. Inika, you need to listen to that whole podcast because it was the last one that Richie did, and he already said that he's leaving. He said that this was the last podcast that he was doing because he was going to go do his own thing on YouTube. And this was at a time where my doctors actually diagnosed me with a certain type of cancer. And here's the thing. So what had happened was my paperwork got mixed up with someone else's paperwork. So they thought it was me. So, I went all out on the Goofy movie. If you listen to the Goofy movie podcast, you're just going to be thinking, I can't believe he did those jokes, but I'm happy he did those jokes because there was so much positive review from that Goofy movie because of the jokes that I did. And it was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. But yes, so I would recommend that you take a listen to that because anytime that I need a laugh, I actually listen to that one.
For sure. One thing I will say, I remember seeing the Goofy movie. There's one thing I was hoping that Goofy would have done, his father. Do that famous yell.
He did do that. He did it. He did it at the end of the movie.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right.
Yeah, like yeah, you need to go back and watch that one. But no,
I should.
you need to listen to that to the BS commentary. It's a goofy movie, but no. So yeah, getting back onto us. Yeah, so we will be seeing you guys either mid-November, or we will probably see it. It's probably going to be in December. We will probably be seeing you guys in December because both Inika and I, we do need to take some time off. We got to take some time off. We need to get ourselves collective. We got to be with our families, because here's the thing. I get it. We only do this podcast once a week, twice a week at tops, because of Band of Brothers. But the thing that you guys don't understand is, even though this podcast takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours out of our lives, that's an hour and a half and 2 hours that we could have been spending time with our families. So, yeah, I mean, we're not leaving you guys altogether. We will not be leaving you guys. We will be back in December. So that is the announcement that, oh yeah. And I forgot to also mention, because we were both, me and Inika, we were really embarrassed a few weeks ago, because when we were watching The Mummy, the Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, both me and Inika, we fell asleep. I actually remember I fell asleep a little in that podcast. I fell asleep during that podcast, and Inika was dozing off as well. And it was at what was it? Was it? I think it was about the hour and 10-minute mark. I think it was at the hour and 10-minute mark that I told Inika, I said, okay, we need to stop this movie. And she's like, and because I told her, I said, I'm falling asleep. I am falling asleep. And so we stopped the podcast right there, and yeah, and we just basically said, yeah, I mean, this movie is just going nowhere, and we need to just stop it, because I've fallen asleep during movies, but I've never fallen asleep while doing the podcast, while actually doing this podcast. And so for me to actually fall asleep during a movie on the podcast, that tells you just how bad the movie was going. So yes. So the announcement that we are saying is, me and Inika, we will be taking a full 2 months, October and November, away from this podcast. We will be back in December. We are only going to do 2 podcasts in December, though. Only 2 podcasts. We will do Home Alone and Home Alone 2. We might actually do 4. I don't know if we will do 4, but a lot of people have wanted us to do the Home Alone movies for a long time. So, yeah, I think me and Inika can agree on that. If, of course, we're doing 2 podcasts in December, but both me and Inika are not sure that we will do a full month's worth of podcasting in December. We'll only do a half month, and then we will take the rest of those 2 weeks. We will probably do a podcast in December. We will probably do a podcast. I want to say in the first week of December, and in the second week of December, and then we will take the rest of that month off, and we will come back in 2024 with I think before we start back up with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle trilogy and the Band of Brothers, we got to start off 2024 with a bang. We got to start off with a banger movie, and we've got 2 months to figure it out. Actually, Inika, I think the choice of movie is on my side. It's my choice of movie. Am I correct?
Yes, it'll be your choice. You know.
Okay, so it'll be my choice. So I gotta come up with a fucking banger one. I gotta come up with a fucking banger of a movie to start off 2024. And so I'm not sure, because we were supposed to, here in November, this podcast was actually supposed to be doing a collaboration with Jay's Trident podcast, because we were supposed to start on The Sopranos. I mean, do you remember that, Inika? I told you that.
I remember that. Yes, The Sopranos.
Yeah, we were supposed to start doing Sopranos season 1, and I don't think that we're not gonna. I'm actually gonna let Jay know that we're not gonna be doing that. That we're gonna wait until 2024. So yes, so the announcement today is we are taking a 2-month break from podcasting. And I know you guys are upset that we're probably going to be taking 2 months off, but here's the thing. I think I told Inika about this, but so back in 2020, do you know a YouTube channel called Talking Kitty Cat?
No.
Wow. So go on Talking Kitty Cat, like watch the videos from the earliest videos of Talking Kitty Cat. So he was a YouTuber by the name of Steve Cash. And in, I think it was April of 2020, Steve Cash, who was suffering from bipolar depression, unfortunately committed suicide. Yeah, and it was, for me, it was such a heavy loss because I had gotten so involved into the Talking Kitty Cat series, and it was really hard to read that news because we like a lot of the fans knew that Talking Kitty Cat would eventually be coming to an end whenever Sylvester, his cat, passed away, or any of his animals, or any of the other animals passed away. But yes, so we all here at Ready Set Action Commentaries, mental health is such a big thing with us. So yes, that's another reason why we're taking 2 months off, is to get our mental health back in check. Both me and Inika, we're okay, by the way, for everybody out there wondering. We are okay. Nothing is wrong with us, but we just want to get back to our families. We're working hard, and also just to take that mental health break. We got to take that mental health break.
Yes, which is truly important. I feel like taking time away from social media is so important. Like, apparently, I found out actually in Canada they're doing something different. They're apparently doing. You could actually have a prescription to go to the zoo for half cost for your mental health, apparently, in Canada. That
is amazing.
Yes. And the zoo is a perfect place because, but you can like turn off your phone and just kind of be in touch with nature. So, which is good.
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely. And speaking of the zoo, you know what? I need to talk to my girl and see if she wants to go to the zoo this week.
Yes.
She's got a membership where I think we just pay like $3 to get in. So
oh
yeah, so
awesome.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna tell my girl we're gonna go to the fucking zoo.
Yes, it's been a long wait for me to go to the zoo for so long. I haven't been, but the zoo is like the place where you could just have fun with the animal. Just take your camera. Like just have fun. Learn about every species.
Oh yeah. So this will not be counted as an episode of Ready Set Action Commentaries. I don't think we're going to upload this to Apple Podcasts. We're just going to keep this on here on YouTube. So, but again, just to let everybody know out there. So Ready Set Action Commentaries, we are taking a 2-month vacation. We will take just like a kind of like just a mental break, just to get ourselves back in check. And in December, we will come back with Home Alone and Home Alone 2. And by the way, Inika's looking forward to that because as everybody who watches this show and listens to this show, you guys know of just how bad my phantom sense is. And my phantom sense will have an absolute overload when it comes to Home Alone. Probably it's going to be the worst on Home Alone 2 because those traps are so deadly.
Oh my gosh, yes, like it's crazy. I also have to give it up, man, for the Grinch when it comes to Jim Carrey.
Yeah, definitely. We'll probably do the Grinch. We will probably do the again. So we will be back here in December. We will go ahead and upload this. We will go ahead and upload this podcast actually to Apple, so that way everybody knows. I think this should be counted as an episode, though. I think this should be counted as an episode. So this will be the 85th podcast that we will have put out on Apple. So that means we will be technically 15 podcasts away from episode 100. But technically we are still 16 podcasts away from officially 100, because we're just mostly doing movies. But anyway, Yep, that is going to do it for me and Inika. We just wanted to make this quick little announcement just to make sure you guys knew where we were going, just to make sure you guys had a little bit of a, just a heads up if you guys are wondering where we were. But yep, that's going to do it for me and Inika. And for the next 2 months, guess what, guys? That is a cut, wrap, and print, and we will see you in 2 months.
That's all, folks. See y'all next time.